Hey, hi there. It's wonderful Tuesday, fabulous Tuesday, terrific Tuesday. There we go. Terrific Tuesday. Showing up here on these live platforms. Let's see. Let's go here. Click live for this one and welcome. Step back into where I'm supposed to be. You have to click on these separately, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. That's all I can say. All righty. Let's see what happens here. We're starting just a tad bit early.
Let's see what happens here. We're starting just a tidbit.
There we go. I am attempting to see all the chats today and see how I can connect in with y'all and answer those when they pop up. I am Kathy Freeman. Welcome. Kathy Freeman Art and realpositivechange.com. So let's see. Today, I always like to pop in on Tuesday. I work on my own art journal. And in my art journal is where I put positive affirmations, things that help to uplift me and motivate me in the directions and things that I want to do. And I have been thinking about a lot of stuff this weekend. As a matter of fact, I got busy. I overcame one of the fears that I've had in the past, and that is to actually do a podcast. It's so much easier just to write a blog and put it out there. But then when you're having to show up and do a podcast, it's a whole different thing. And so I'm working on some of the aspects that I share in coaching, and it's always good to coach yourself. And I got rid of some of those fears, created the first podcast for my channel, and you can find it Real Positive Change. It is on Apple and it's on Spotify. I also host it on my website over in the little art village. I've got a little building that holds my blogs and now my podcasts. So I like to make things easy for my members so that they can find the things and not have to search. There's nothing more frustrating I have found, even for myself, as I've been on other sites and working with other individuals, is now where am I supposed to be? Where do I go? And so I'm always trying to update those and keep things simple, right? Keep it easy. All righty. Go ahead and say hello and put your name in the comment so I can respond back to you. What shall we work on today? I've got my little book here. And I'm going to go ahead and let's just get busy. Kind of quit some of the chatting. Can we see that all right? Post that light down there a little bit better. All right, this little book is my small journal. I have several different sizes, and I chose today, I thought I would like to work in this one. I think it would be fun. It's one that I really enjoy working in. It's just the right size that you don't have too much to fill in, but just enough to create and put in your thoughts and what's going on. That page got stuck. Let's unstick that page. And this page I'm going to work on today. I'm going to collage. I find that when I'm doing this kind of process, I tend to go towards the collage and throwing in papers and ideas. And so I pulled out different things that I had available to start working on. Number one is I had these little words. I had this quote. And since I've been doing a lot with my new membership that's going to be opening up here in November, the Real Positive Change, the coaching one, my whole mind has been on write your own narrative. And so that's going to go in on, plus this great quote that I picked up a couple weeks ago when I was out with a friend. I thought, ooh, let's try this. I haven't used those in a while. We're going to play with that. I've got other papers and things. And so just grab your supplies, pull things out. That's the beauty of creating this type of art, this type of page. When you're dealing with collage, is you're not pre-planning and you're going to just let things flow and see what happens. So let's just go ahead and start finishing what I've got here on this page. I'm going to place some of these other pieces in and add them. I'm just using an easy to glue since there's stronger paper rather than doing the matte medium. I'm going to be using this tacky glue and it will adhere it easily to the page. Keep it simple. I always put my cut edges down on the bottoms or on the sides, basically, just wherever there's a cut page, cut edge. There we go, a cut edge on the page. Because as far as in the artwork, I like it to be ripped and uneven so that, see, I've got two sharp edges there. So that's why I'm going to place that right along that edge there. I do like to work sometimes with this edge because if I'm putting on an ink, brush ink of some kind, or working with any kind of a brush effect, then it really makes for a nice look when it's done. All right. Place that on. And I'm going to come right to the edge. I'm going to have a few pieces hanging over. And what I'll do with those is once it's finished, then I'll come back and cut any overlap that's there. All right. It's interesting. I watch myself. Some people go to the statements. I use all right quite a bit. These I had printed off for the members to put into their books, and I'm going to use this to go right into mine. And this one does not need the stronger tacky because it's heavy. So I'll use something a little bit lighter. Tell me what you've been working on. Are there certain projects that you like to work on? This is wonderful to have. I always consider this step the step that allows you to just take a moment, pause. You're either I use it to reinforce something going on, that I'm wanting to reinforce in my life, remember, or just take a break and be able to kind of gather my thoughts and the things and handle those. All right, so we're going to place this on here. One thing with this kind of art that I love is letting go of that whole fear of perfection. And if you're going to do the techniques correct or whatever, I think that's a fear that a lot of people have when they're creating art is, am I going to do everything correct? Is the techniques going to be right? All that pops up. Let's place this one. We're going to lift that up. That's the nice thing about using this kind of glue. So it doesn't dry super fast. So you can lift and put in areas that you need to. All right. Welcome. We've got more showing up here. Go ahead and say hello. Put your name in the comments. Glad you're here today. There we go. This page is coming right along. So you create your background. Now we're going to go ahead and cut that off before I forget it. Get rid of that. See, it's sticking down here too on the bottom. You could leave it. It's all personal preference. There is a really nice effect to having things kind of flow out of the pages and extend themselves. I love this. Love this. Now, before we start adding any of the phrases or that on, I'm going to go ahead and extend let's use a micron pen. Let's just extend those stems down, bring them onto the page a little more. Maybe even give ourselves kind of a ground to work with here. One thing I love to play with is, and it's messy, so you have to, is my ink. I really love to play with this and use this. And I don't know if I can get this one open. I haven't opened it in a while. Oh, there we go. This is what I love to do with it. Is add it, just kind of let it go along like so. And then I don't have gloves on. You definitely want to have gloves because this ink stains. I do have a paper towel and looking for my gesso. Some gesso right here. Let's grab some gesso. And this gesso is hardening up. So I'm going to put it out here, add a little water to it, loosen it up. So what happens when it sits for so long, it starts to get a little hard. I'm going to use this with my fingers, to take it off my fingers for right here. Along this edge. Then I'm going to take the paper towel and we'll just take the ink and spread it. See, the gesso will lighten some of the areas and leave some of the areas dark. Let's go right into the middle here. I'm going to grab a piece of, anytime you're doing something in a book, it's always good to protect the other pages as you're working along. All right, let's grab a little more gesso. Put down here. And I'm using this just because I don't want to get this on my fingers. If I had gloves, plastic gloves, they would be great. Okay, I'm leaving some areas dark, some areas light, just to give that interest to it. Create the base, the earth for these to come blooming out of. And these are acrylic pencils, except for this one. This one is just a regular, well, this is a watercolor pencil, actually, this one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little color to these black and white images. And as we come on this side, I was thinking I might, go ahead and apply water to this, but I don't know. I think I'll change my mind. Keep it more contained. What? Got a bright yellow or I have an orange. I'm thinking let's use this yellow first. And the reason I put that back is because I've looked at my background here being the lavenders, the purples, with the complement of purple is yellow. I wanted it to stand out. It's another leaf that I've neglected to get. Let's put a little bit of orange onto it. Come up on that. And then that, of course, is going to be black. So find my charcoal or the black pencil. I don't want to, if I cover too much of it, then it gets rid of the images of the little seed pods on there. So I'm going to leave some of that. And it does blend real easy using your finger, moving the color around. Blends very easily. Let's see better what's happening here. Now this over here, I don't know what this is called, but it's calling to me to add some purple to it. Use my finger to move that and kind of set it into the image. Add some water to it. That'll definitely set it. Just grab a brush. I'm going to go for my, now. Here. Not too much water, but just enough. Set that color in. Clean my brush, make sure that there's not, let's go over here to this one. I don't have every color in these, but what I do have, I love. Just add a few there to stand out. And then I mentioned I wanted to use these. We're just experimenting here. We're playing. See, I don't want it to be, I want it to be random, not too. Calculated, I guess, is the word I'm going for. And I could leave these on. What I'm thinking about is, just like a template where you take them back off. All right, place those on. I've got my distressed oxide, which I haven't used in a while. I do love this. Thinking about this little guy, he may be dried out because I have not used him in a long time. Well, let's give it a go. See if there's anything left in this poor little. Oh, yeah, he feels pretty. Well, there's some I got on my thumb. Take that off my thumb because I don't want to transfer it to too many places. What I love about these journal pages is you never know exactly what direction they're going to go. I mean, you can have an idea. You can try to plan it out or, but you really don't. If you let yourself just be free with it. I think the key is working with the colors that work together really well, that create some kind of a harmony, some kind of a. Well, that's interesting. Now, I'm tempted to take that off, but I do like how it left the. Let's just lift one. That's what it looks like if I do that. Give me a vote. What do you think? Leave it off? Or leave it on? Could use that one and then take it off and put the back on next to it. There we go. Any votes? I'm going to bring this blue so that it goes around the page. Not everywhere, but your eye can flow. And to be honest, I like the wasn't my plan, but I do like the circle on it. So let's just leave it. Gives a shape, but it's not in your face. There we go. I really tried. This is great to come on here, even if I don't have a lot to show up, but this anchors me down. I mean, I don't want to say forces. It's not really the direction I want, but it encourages me because I want to be consistent to show up and really take time for myself and do a page because it's so important for our own wellness. And that seems to be the message I'm always sharing. So let's take care of ourselves, all right? So many things coming at us. Yeah, so many challenges. That's okay. It's just how life is, but it's nice to be able to show up our best self possible. Can I tell you that I really love this page? I'm really enjoying it. It's been a lot of fun creating my background. Okay. And see, it doesn't take very long, especially when you're using other elements that, did you see where I put the lid? I don't know where I put it, so I'll find it after I'm through. There it is. Right over there on top of the other colors. Let's try to keep everything. I love that. Okay, it's time now to apply the words, the statements. All right. I know I want this one on here. Write your own narrative. That was the message, the reason for this particular page as I was thinking about that. And then I came across this quote by Marilyn Monroe. Let's see. Cut it apart. She says, I believe that everything happens for let's cut off this end here. For a reason. And I could separate these even a little bit more. Let's do that. Why not? Oops. Just to give it a little more color in between. I believe everything happens for a reason. People change so that you can learn to let go. Things go wrong so that you learn to appreciate them when they're right. And sometimes, this one will go up here. Sometimes good things fall. Let's take off that edge. Apart. So so that better things can fall together. I'm going to come out this Friday. The next podcast will be released. I'm working on it now, but it's going to be focusing on the power of our words. And there's been a lot of studies on that. I'm going to share some of that and how it does affect and how it can lift us energetically, make us feel more energy, or it can really drag us down. And just think about it, just think about a situation. I love it. Let me find her name. Don't know what happened to it. There. Marilyn Monroe actually said this. Put that up there so I don't lose it. Let's get gluing. Okay. And we're almost through with this fun page. When you're done doing something like this, you not only have something wonderful to, to reflect on and to keep you in that positive state. You've got a beautiful piece of artwork that you actually had fun creating. Good thing about this glue is it can move around a little bit. So I start putting these down and they're not really, I like things to go in the right direction. I like it to be not tilting up, but and for it's going to have to sit for a little bit with some pressure on it to actually get these to glue down. Isn't it wonderful though? This quote was printed on brown cardstock paper, and I just randomly thought to add the brown to the ground to create that surface below, and it all ties together so wonderfully. And that was just by chance. Okay, before I stick this one up here, let's get Write Your Own Narrative on here. And I'm going to trim it just a little bit more. Because the white space is not important to me in this piece that I'm doing. But the words are. So do I break it up there, Write Your Own Narrative, or do I go across here? I just keep wanting to do that, so I'm going to cut it right here. Narrative. Write Your Own. And if you're not saving maybe words and things that pop out as from your magazines or some of the stuff that you get in the mail, we get so much in the mail, don't we? Can I invite you to do that? Because it makes for really great there we go. It's funny because each time I create a piece in here and I finish, it becomes my favorite. I have a lot of favorites in this book. If you find it hard to sit down and start creating yourself, figure out what is holding you back from it. Do you think you don't have time? That can be a big factor for some people. Oh, I don't have time. I think the largest or the biggest factor for me at times is I don't know what to do exactly. And that's funny because I'm always creating things for my students and these classes, but I tend to hold myself back a little bit because I'm thinking, oh, I just don't know what to do today. Well, if I just open up the book, pull out some pages, and just start following what I see in front of me, it all works out. And these are some of the things that we're going to be doing some open coaching on in the group Real Positive Change that's going to open up in November. I'm preparing the pages now, the things I need to for those registrations. But you'll be seeing it coming up. All right. I'm going to offset this a little bit because I don't like things to be always, what's the word? Consistent. That's not the word, but I like the unexpected. You put that on that side, but if I put it over here, it pulls you back in. That's interesting. Let's just take a second and look at that one more time. I'm going to put it there, but I was originally thinking I'm going to put it on this side so that I have this nice little flow going down this diagonal line, but all that's doing is pushing you right off the page. And really, you want to pull your eye back in so that you circle around and come back. You want to create something so that people's eyes move around that page. So I'm going to pull this back over and set it up here, because then what it does is it brings you back into the page and down. We've got our little name right here. So we can push this up and add her name. I'm going to put it down here. Let's step back and look at it. Okay, we've got a couple of choices here. Any preferences? We can place it there. If it was smaller, then I would put it here. Let's just play for a minute. Oh, my fingers are kind of sticky. It's kind of nice. Bring it down a little further. Ah, that's even better. When you just kind of take that breath and you're going, yeah. Do you ever work that way? More with feeling, or do you stay in your head a lot and go with? There we go. Give her credit, but not center. Stage. All right, my friends, we have finished this page. A lot of fun creating it. It's a pleasant surprise, too. I'm quite surprised at how it turned out. Lift that up so you can see it. Read that quote one more time because I love it. I believe that everything happens for a reason. People change so that you can learn to let go. Things go wrong so that you can learn to appreciate them when they're right. And sometimes good things fall apart, so better things can fall together. Isn't that awesome? What a great statement to hold on to. All right, my friends, thank you for showing up today. You can visit me over on Kathy Freeman, KathyFreemanArt.com, or type in realpositivechange.com. Both of those direct you right to the front page, my website. If you'd like to go ahead and see the blog in that, type in myartsisters.com. It'll open up our little art village. And in that art village, you can just kind of cruise around to some of the things. Members, anything that's just for members only, you have to have a password to get into it. But everything else, you're able to kind of cruise around and read the blog, see some. I've got a lot of little videos, some different things I've done in the past, classes and that are on there. So just have fun, enjoy yourself. Appreciate you showing up here today, and I'll see you again next Tuesday. And have a great day, all of you.